Once I put it on paper, it's like, now I got to figure out how to do this now. Now I got to figure out, and then that's what made me go to the gyms early and start watching what those elite players do.
What if your goal is just dominate for as long as you can in the league, and that's like your ultimate,
To
plan.
just dominate?
It's like NBA champion won this how many years,
Then you have to find someone that's mythical.
Welcome to No Chill with Gilbert Arenas. I'm Mike Botticello, and we're gonna kick this off. Shout out to small market teams. Indiana Pacers represented right there. Al Harrington.
Yeah, I don't care about the team. It's just Al. I like Al.
Well, you got Indiana across your
Yeah,
chest.
I get it, but I like Al.
You know what, Gil, we gotta know, people say there's a West Coast bias on this show.
Seriously?
Yeah, accurate. We talk about LA all the time. You're a LA dude. Fair. So, I mean, we're just gonna go lean right into it again because we have a pure LA product right here with Kijani Wright, Windward High School. Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Kijani, thank you. And we've already introduced you before with your teammate, Dylan Andrews. So you've been hyped before you even got here.
Right. Yeah.
So this is official.
Yeah. It's official. Yeah. So.
Official.
So the best part, and I wish people could see this, but we don't need them to see this, is what happens before we actually start rolling is the education on the show. Free game. That's the whole point of this.
Yeah, the conversation, get the mood right, just, because usually, everyone's nervous when they first come in.
I was trying to drink my water and calm down.
Yeah, them cameras, everyone starts like, let me.
And you can also ask those questions. You're like, this is off the record, right? I want to know these things. Or Gil was going to give you information. It was just like, this is good to know, so.
Right.
Yeah, every question doesn't need to be on record. You know what I mean? It's, it's one of those things where you have, when we're doing interviews, for the most part, most of the good stuff is usually off the record. It's usually off the record. And then like, all right, we're on the record now. Let's go.
So we're on the record now.
Yeah,
Let's make that sure. So Kijani, it's great to have you here. And I think the thing that stuck out to me was Gil and I were talking about you and looking at film, and it's identifying your game. It's not that easy. And you were sort of the term was a tweener guard, the one or the two combo, whatever.
I said he has that Embiid feel. I was like, he's agile, he can shoot the ball, he can move, because in today's game, as a big, you still want to be dominant in the post too,
right.
Because it's an advantage. If everyone's skinny, they don't know how to defend the post, and you're down there getting busy, it helps. But you can still take it back to the three-point line and stretch your defense too.
So I want a short answer and a long answer. First, short answer, is that fair? Yes or no?
That's fair. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I said I'm going more Anthony Davis, more versatile.
Embiid versus Anthony Davis. I think I'd go Anthony Davis than Embiid.
Gotcha.
I mean,
Gotcha.
just with my body type, I'd say Anthony Davis.
Okay.
And no disrespect to either of those guys or whatever. It's just the idea that Joel is more of a banger, bigger body.
I mean, I like to, bang in the post. I do like that, yeah.
And but AD has more, I guess, more agility, more hops, more athleticism, speed.
I mean, okay.
All these good things.
Embiid with more athleticism.
So all of that, we'll put all that together.
But that's
So
a great
we got
comparison.
a lot to work with then.
You
Yeah,
got
hell
two
yeah.
good comparisons.
Yeah. We've talked about this before, you and I, never on the record. Positionless basketball. Do you like that term?
No, because it's not a positionless game. It's big men that are skilled that can play every position, but you can't go the other way with it. So you can't say, all right, Curry, all right, go out there and be the five and guard the big man. Like, no, you can't do that. Right. You can't say, all right, Klay Thompson, you're the five man today. No, you can't do that. Right. But you can take the big man and say, all right, well, I mean, you're agile, you can defend. Okay, we're gonna put you at the 4. Okay, maybe the 3, 2. You can guard the 1, switch it all. That's what makes, You know, so it's only one way. It's the big men that are multi-skilled versus going up way. So it's not technically positionless. It's just, you know, bigger guys who can play multiple positions.
How do you relate to that term?
I mean, now that I've got your perspective, I always thought it was just positionless, you know, because guys like Ben Simmons are ones, you know, 6'10", playing point guard, but can also defend the big, you know. But now that you said that, I kind of agree with, you know, the tweener, you know.
Yeah, it's only one way down. Like we had a player, Jared Jeffries, and he was probably one of the only handful of guys that can guard actually all 5 positions. So he'd go in a game and he'd guard T-Mac, Yao, and then Rafe Alston.
How tall
all
is
in
he?
the same game. He's 6'11".
Whoa.
Yeah, so he was from Indiana. He was a shooter from Indiana. Stopping Yao, then sub. Okay, he has to go back to Tracy McGrady. So I'm getting killed by Rafer. Go to Rafer. You know? So it's those guys that are intangible that actually gives the illusion that the game is, you know,
Positionless?
positionless. Yeah, that. I try not to put that in my
know,
vocabulary.
But yeah, in theory, it's a good concept because no one's putting a label on you. And I think that's probably what you would want to be most comfortable with. Don't label me. Let me play my game.
Right. I agree with that, you know, because obviously I don't like to. I was thinking this positionless because I never liked to play the 5, you know. Now I like to. And I see guys shooting the ball, big men shooting the ball, and taking the ball up the court. And it's like I want to do that too. I don't want to be labeled as the 5 or the 4. You know, I want to be able to do everything. So.
And also, you work on your handle. You work on these things, and also you want to be able to use those. But that's where you're like, wait a minute, don't put me in this box. Don't call me Embiid. I'm me, and I can do all these other things that maybe they can't do.
Yeah, you know, right now it's, you know, you're more valuable at a 5'4", 3 position, you know, because it's like, yeah, you want to sub me out, but you don't have to sub me out now. Just move me to the 4, move me to the 3, you know, and you get to, like, your value goes up. And that was one of my things that I learned early, because I came in as a tweener, 1-2, wasn't really a point guard and wasn't big enough to be the 2. So while I'm sitting there watching what 2s did and realized I'm gonna get killed in this position, you know, and I was like, well, John Stockton looks a little old. They don't really have any scores there. Okay, I'm gonna be a 1. So, you know, while I was, you know, sitting, not playing, I'm just practicing my handle, you know, trying to understand what the point guard did and became a max player in this position. You know, so yeah, I'm okay, $5 million player as a shooting guard, but I'm a max player because, you know, I'm the alpha of scoring in this position. And that's the same where, you know, as a bigger guy, you can play the 3, 4, 5. So you can figure out which lane you're gonna play in today and say, you know what, okay, he's there, let me go here. And I'm gonna tear him up this game, and that's the advantage. So your value shoots up. Because, you know, you can, you know, if they haven't been, okay, we just draft you as a 3-man. And draft you as a 4. You know, you get the bounce and you don't have no confliction.
And we could throw another term in there, it's a baseball term, 5-tool player. And in baseball, that means you can do everything. You have it all. So for basketball purposes, is that your approach? You don't want any flaws.
Were you saying I can play every position?
Position and skills. I can shoot, I can put it on the floor, I can defend, I can post
I
up.
I like to be well-rounded and be able to do everything a point guard can do. But yeah, I don't want to be just labeled as someone who can just do this and not be able to step out and show what else I can do on the court.
And really, to break that down, it's situational. So depending on, is it the matchup that you have is a mismatch? Obviously, you always find the mismatch, right, too? Or what kind of defense are they throwing at me? What's the situation with my team? Are they just going, like, pressing us? They going up and down? And, you know, you want to be able to adapt to any situation.
You know, right now, you know, when when you're probably one of the biggest guys in high school, it's like, oh no, you're gonna be the 5.
Right.
But
They label you as the 5.
they're gonna label you as the 5. But that's when you just you're training for next levels. Making sure you're working on your vision, working on your passing skills, working on your dribbling, mid range, learning how to move without the screen, learning how to defend smaller guys.
Right.
Because it's just adding extra value to the bigger picture. And that's what a lot of coaches in high school don't realize, and a lot of coaches in college don't realize, because they need to use you for what they need now versus what you're gonna be.
Right.
So at this stage, you're just trying to just add extra attributes to your game until you get to where you want to get to.
Right.
So Kijani, let's look at this, because you're involved in every facet of the game at your age. So AAU, Compton Magic. Shout out to Compton Magic. High school with Windward, high level program here in LA, Team USA. So in all these different scenarios, you're in an environment where, you have a different, let's say, role. So how do you approach these different roles and situations?
Well, for USA, it was, I'll give you an example. During I think Canada game, I got the rebound, pushed the ball up the court, missed a layup, and then got subbed out. And so I think I was there for the role and position they wanted me to play. And after that, I understood that. And so I was like, okay, let me just, step into this role, into this character and play what they want me to play. But I think it's different, like for everything. So like different situations, like high school, of course, role being the tallest guy, 5-man. AAU, positionless or tween or whatever you want. But it's different for high school AAU and then Team USA.
Evaluate that
Okay,
answer.
so you have but that's good, because you have to adapt. And that's usually problems that some players can't adapt. When I went for Team USA, I don't think I adapted well. Because I went into the mindset I remember I called Coach K. This was I called Coach K and said, you gotta remember, I'm a scorer. I'm just a scorer. And I was like, whatever you need from me, defensively, whatever it is, sacrifice, I'm ready to do it. I think that was my one mistake, that I shouldn't have did that. And then and then I'm going to, then once we started getting to practice, my attributes took over. I'm just out there killing. And it was like, we don't need that. We already have LeBron and Melo and D Wade. And I'm like, well, there's only 3 two-time All-Stars here, and I'm one of them. There's only 3 of us here, so why am I on the bench? And I just couldn't understand that they didn't need me to be dominant because they already had forces.
Right.
But I didn't want to adapt to taking some Brad Miller type of role. I'm gonna sit here, go out there and hustle and play defense and rebound, and like, man, I don't do that. That's for number 14, 15, 12. And then I'm looking like, well, I'm 14, 15, and 12. So it was one of those things that I didn't adapt well. I got released. But it's adapting and understanding how to adapt to situations to keep you on the court. Yeah. So it seems like you do that well.
And in your situation, you guys were all pros. So for Kijani, for you, it's all amateurs, youth level, and everyone's really established. In a lot of ways, you're finding your own identity at that time. Maybe not you, but the other guys that are there. And Gil, I think that's the toughest thing. What is it? Ego.
Yeah. Yeah, my ego got the best of me at the time. Yeah. Yeah, but it's gonna happen. You go on there dominating, and you're like I'm more dominant than what you're trying to use me as, and it's like, how do you box in yourself just to, fit a role? That is, it is the ego that you have to try to keep under control for the bigger picture. Right. Which is, I'm not gonna lie, it's hard.
Right.
So take us inside that, Kijani, and I'm thinking of this famous video, Team USA. KG, king of the court. He's going up and down, and he's getting all these guys thrown at him. Have you seen the video?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, so it's Jason Kidd or Grant Hill or whoever, and he's one-on-one. So that's the fun that you can have at that. When it comes to team play and competition, there's that goes on. But then it's the competition and the spirit around the players that are there. So is that something else that you approach the Team USA experience with?
I don't think I played like one-on-one with. I was just there to, show out, give my all. I didn't see myself as like having any friends there. Or, I was just there to go out there, kill it. But I mean, players can have that, competitive spirit, of course.
I guess that's a different. Atmosphere anyway, because they don't have any relationships with each other. For the most part, most of those players you would know you never really played with anyway.
Right. Different states, all.
Yeah, that's what I said. You wouldn't. So it's basically you're just there to compete against each other to try to see who's who and try to make it. That's what I said. Is the establishment is a little different on that level. It seems like, because it's like you're bringing everyone around and then it's like tryouts. Mm-hmm. So it's you're trying to survive. Team USA. You're all NBA players. You practice together. You played with each other in the summer. You played, so you have more of that. That friendly competitiveness versus just I'm after your spot.
I think that's the coolest thing is from a basketball standpoint, you don't get that experience later on. It's like you said, it's like Survivor. We're all on this island, and I want to prove I'm the king of the hill.
Mm-hmm. But he said it. It's different because you get the rebound, you go down, and you're doing your thing, and it's like, whoa, sub. Mm-hmm. You're like, what? Hold on, wait, what did I do? Like, I just did me. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things where it's more difficult because you don't know what they're looking for, and that seems like that is a stressful way of playing basketball when you're going into a situation and you're this type of player and you're trying to figure out, do they want this type of player? Do they want this type of player? Do they want to and I tell just all you can do is basically just do you and then let them decide, because if you're trying to outthink what they want, you end up looking bad yourself.
And that's important, knowing your identity is like, look, I'm not that kind of dude. My approach is I'm a Swiss Army knife if I have to be, or if I have to lock down their best player, that's what I'm going to do tonight. Mm-hmm. Is that accurate for you?
That's pretty accurate. Yeah, just do whatever. I mean, I didn't know what they wanted me to do, but just go out there and, like you said, just be yourself, and they'll evaluate you based on what you give.
You've probably seen guys that are like that. Maybe you'll throw some names at me right now that they don't know how to modulate. They're just one speed, one gear, and they're always stuck in that mode.
I mean, for the most part, it's usually a score that's like that. Like somebody like Lamar Odom, he was the Swiss Army knife. So, no matter what, you can have the Kobe, the Iversons, all of those on the team. They're picking him first. They're picking Lamar Odom first because they can take him and they can move him around. Mm-hmm. So they can move this guy any position, so you say, all right, we're going to go with him, and then, okay, who does he mesh up with? Now we can add Kobe to him. We can add this person. So you get the guy who's multi on the court, and then you start going with the narrow-minded type of players. Even though, you have a guy who can give you 30 and carry the team, you're like, I don't really need that because I can just have 4 of this and they can make sure, like Scottie Pippen. People didn't realize on the USA team, he led the team in assists. Wasn't Magic. Wasn't John Stockton. It wasn't the 2 best point guards in the world. It was Scottie Pippen. He was the most valuable because he's the one that's getting the ball from out of Jordan's hand to a Barkley, from Barkley to a Mullen, from Mullen to a David Robinson. So he's the one that's making sure all these guys, and he sacrificed himself, but he's the most valuable on the team.
Right.
And that's the tough thing to relay to people, because you might see Lamar and be like, hey, how come you don't go for 40? He could. I'm sure that was also tough on him too, is people maybe at certain times in his career wanted him to do that. That's not really his mode.
No, I mean, he's looking for everyone else. Just like somebody like, Chris Webber. Chris Webber led his team in assists. You got it's like you give the ball to the person who makes the best decisions. And that's just it, just how it is. So, if they surround you with a whole bunch of scores, the ball is going to you and you're making sure everyone, just like Draymond Green. He makes Curry look unselfish because Curry gives it to him. He gives those hockey assists. So when you look at the assist total, 25, 30 as a team, even though Curry has 6. So it's like Curry, you score and make passes when you need to. Clay, you score. You don't have to pass. I'll do all of the sacrifices. So then you have Iguodala making all the sacrifices. You have Green making all the sacrifices for everyone else to look good. So it's one of those things when you get put in situations, you have to figure out what they need from you at that moment. Do you need to be dominant today? Do you need to be a facilitator today? Do you need just to be all around guy today? So, but that's the gift you have. So you get to use it, to your ability.
Now, Kijani, that all sounds great because you can approach a game and like everything's gonna work out perfectly. That's not always the case. Sometimes you got to put the Superman cape on and say, guess what? I'm just going to take this thing over.
Well, I think going off of like this past year at Windward, I wouldn't say I was fitting that role where, I was getting the guys open. I wasn't scoring too many points, 30 points like that. But I think I know I have to jump into that role to become more dominant and score more points and become more aggressive. So I think there's going to become a time where every player, if you're a player that's going to be the one that facilitates, the one that's not the dominant scorer, is going to have to take that role and score more points and take into that role.
And I think what's going through my mind is a good example is Jimmy Butler, because wasn't a hugely hyped guy in high school, smaller program at Marquette, but if you look at what he does and what he can do, and obviously we're seeing that now in Miami, we've seen that when he was in Chicago, over the years, but there's times where Jimmy knows this guy's got it tonight. I'm going to let him shine, or I'm going to just focus on defense and completely lock my man down. Or you need me to take over in a series, I'm going to do that. That's more of the approach. Like if you can do all that, man, you got to respect that.
Yeah, but that's gifted personalities. That's players that understands how talented they are. You've seen games where Jimmy in the third quarter only has 4 points. Miami's up 12 because he knows he has Dragic on the team, Hero. He knows he has these players that can get it themselves. It's just understanding your dominance and understanding, what God is giving you and what you've worked on to understand that I can be a decoy today. I don't really need, like LeBron in the Lakers. And everybody was laughing at him, those 8 games they came back and then they lost the first round. Every game, first round they lost first game, against Houston. If you look at LeBron, he was decoying. Let me see what this team does. Let me just, I'm not worrying about the series. We're gonna win that. Let me just, make sure. Okay, AD go off. Let's see how they're gonna play you today. All right, let me see how they're gonna play you. So he has that ability to understand that I don't need to come out here and play freight train basketball. When you need me to do it, I'm gonna do it. Other than that, I need AD to make sure he's in rhythm. I need, KCP to make sure that his confidence is up and he's hitting shots. So he does that to just really, because you gotta remember, the more AD gets off, nobody's worrying about LeBron. KCP gets off, nobody's worrying about LeBron. So when these guys are performing, now the lane just looks wide open for me to play. So if you're going against the zone, those first couple times it's like they're really packing it in. Come on, hit that shot. Oh, come. Okay, there we go. Now once these guys, when you start faking it, they're gone.
And how do you approach that? Thinking that part through where you can really even break the game down to possessions and situations, and you're setting all that up, let's say from the first quarter on through.
Well, I'll give an example, like the 2-man with Dylan. I know everybody talks about the 2-man, what we can accomplish by that, but like you said, he's going off. I'm down in the paint. I'm open. And so I think they forget that I'm there, or sometimes they don't. But when he's driving and he can dish that off, then it's just it's over. Because we have that two-man connection, and then now we're both in rhythm, and he's giving me the ball, I'm giving him the ball. So,
that has to be the most frustrating part about us guards, that we get so tunnel vision when we decide to attack that we don't realize that, oh my God, I could just throw the lob and he's gonna dunk it every time, or I can just jump and just give it off. Cause I didn't understand that until I had Dwight Howard. I refuse to pass to the big man when I'm driving. That was just one thing I just didn't do. So Brendan Haywood and Eton never got dump offs. Just one of those things, I'm already here. I'm I already did the work. I'm not just gonna throw the plate to you. And then once I had Dwight Howard, and Dwight, just throw it up. What do you mean just throw it up? He's like, when you drive, you see my man even flinch, just throw it up. I'm gonna dunk it. All right, let me try it. And then drove, and then the big man came, and I threw it, and and I was like, that's what that feels like.
Easy, yeah.
I don't gotta hit the ground every single time. That is easy. Because next time he's not even gonna come. And I get to lay that, that was, and it was the first time that I actually seen a big man that was dominant, that it opened up my, the ability of me passing, because now every time I drove, all I'm looking for is the body to get off of his so I can just wrap it around. Right. And it's crazy to see I'm down here. Oh, hey, just throw it anywhere around this hoop. Just pretend you're shooting it and just throw it around this hoop, and I can duck it back. But us guards sometimes are just so determined to do what we do best that we usually forget about big men who are actually dominant.
Maybe it's just the way they ask you. The way asked you the right way.
No, but even Shaq and Kobe, that was the big thing. I'm Shaq. Just throw it down here. You know what I mean? It's big men do lose a lot of easy buckets, and to guards who are just focused on that basket.
Makes the game less complicated and easier.
And what you said, Kijani, is so important, I think, to even casual fans that don't understand that, is rhythm. You got to establish a rhythm with the team, and that's a hard thing to do. It doesn't happen automatically. And like you said, it's between the two-man game, between a guard and a big or what have you. And that some nights it doesn't always work, establishing a rhythm. It's not clicking tonight.
Yeah, we look for different options. If you're not clicking, defense is always an option. And I pride myself on that, but if you're not clicking, it's, next man up, or do what you can do, which is defense, Defense is defense is not something where it's oh, I can't do that, I gotta have an offensive game, you can always play defense, so that's just something that you can control that.
Effort, right? I know what your answer is for it. What? Confidence.
On defense or offense?
Offense.
Okay.
We don't talk a lot of defense.
Yeah, defense is always on. Even if someone's, hitting great shots, your defense is still something you can give 100% with. The offensive end, shots go in and out. Just staying confident about the shots you're taking are just good shots. They're just not falling tonight. And then, a game is, 48 minutes. The first 5 minutes that end the game might be amazing. So, you just got to always just stay and just, keep playing and staying focused on, the task at hand.
All right, all this is great. This is all basketball theory, and, your knowledge is incredible, Kijani, but we want to know your approach off the court. That's where it starts in a lot of ways, your makeup. What is basketball for you?
It's definitely a tool. Brought me places where I didn't think I'd go, like Brazil. I never thought I'd, be able to go to Brazil and yeah.
I haven't went yet.
Really? No. Yeah, it's different out there.
You were stuck in the valley at your age.
Yeah, it's different out there. But I definitely use basketball as a tool. I don't take it for granted at all.
Just to show you how small it was back then, when I got drafted by Golden State Warriors, I actually didn't know where it was. When I went to go, no. So you know how like you train before when you get going into the draft and you have to train, you know. Oh yeah, you're gonna go to Toronto. Yeah, I went to Toronto. I was like, all right, and then it was like, all right, we're gonna go train at Golden State. Where the hell is Golden State? It was like Oakland. How many hours away is that? Like 12? And I didn't realize it's part of California. Like, cause
It happens to be in the same state that you already live in.
yeah. It was like, oh, that was, I didn't really pay attention in. Yeah.
So Kijani, what you said, that's so important. Basketball is a tool, you know, and it can take you other places. But for you, what would you want to use it as a tool for?
Definitely giving back to the community. That's always an option. You know, basketball, I say it's a tool, but you also help people like the community and use it different ways to I don't know, build your brand or make other people happy. So it's not always something you use for yourself, but you use for other people and make their lives better.
This is a fun time, Gil. 2 years left to go in high school.
Wait, 2 years?
You just figured that out?
Oh my God.
But think about that. This is that stage where you can really dream. You know, you can have those dreams, and when I get there, I'm gonna do this, and it's not just about money or the financial part about it, it's the other things that you wanna do, you know, with the game.
I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on 2 years. 2 years.
His mind has to, you know, compute all these things sometimes.
You guys are so much more developed than we were. I mean, the skill level and just, wow. Will out of high school open up? I wouldn't be surprised if the whole draft is high school kids then. There's so much skilled. I mean, like how often do you work out?
Pretty often.
A lot.
Because I mean, we had to cancel like 4 times because you were training. Yeah. I was like, how much he trains? Is he going into the draft now? And it's like, no, he's still in high school. I'm like, man, you know, just realizing how fast you guys are, you know, developing.
8th graders dunking, 7th graders dunking.
Yeah, I had to show my son. I was like, yeah, look at Amani Bates in 7th grade, and he goes in. I'm like, 7th grade, boy, I didn't get my first dunk until 10th grade. You know, but that's
You also weren't 6'9".
No,
that's just genetics.
But still, I mean, it's even playing, you didn't see kids dunk that early.
And all of this, so you're working, you're so tunnel vision on your craft, but like I said, the fun part is you can actually start dreaming.
We always have our dream, and then when we get there, we're like, all right, I'm here. And then it's like, well, I think I need to make new dreams now. And then, you know, so whatever your dreams are now, they're gonna change once you get there because it's like, I heard a boxer say this. He said, you know, I dreamed about being a world champion, and I trained for this moment. And when it came, it was like,
what's next?
That didn't seem how I envisioned it. I thought I'd be all happy and stuff, and it was just, oh, I got the belt, yay, what's up? All right, what's next? Mm-hmm. He said, I put so much effort into winning this that once I won it, I realized, yeah, that was kind of easy. What's next? Mm-hmm. You know, and it's one of those things. You're training for this goal, and you're gonna put so much effort to it. Once you get there, you're gonna realize, well, I need a new one now. That was okay. I made it to the NBA now. I want to be an MVP. I want to be this, and then that's gonna be what takes you to that next level. Because if you know, I remember Chris Mullin was like, "All right, what was your dream growing up?" And I was like, "All right, make it to the NBA." He was like, "Okay, you're here now. Now what?" And I didn't have an answer. I'm like, let me get back to you on that one. Get off the bench? I don't know. Let me really put some thought into this. And can I come to you in the morning? He was like, yeah. And you know, it was one of those things that he hit me with the question. I didn't have an answer. It's like, oh, I mean, I'm not playing, so I want to play. And then we put some thought. And then it was like, all right, be an all-star. And now once I put it on paper, it's like, now I got to figure out how to do this now. Now I got to figure out, and that's what made me go to the gyms early and start watching what those elite players do.
What if your goal is to just dominate for as long as you can in the league, and that's like your ultimate,
To
plan.
just dominate?
It's like NBA champion won this how many years,
Then you have to find someone that's mythical that you're chasing. Because you got to remember, if your goal is to dominate every year, who's challenged you to keep going if you're already, so if let's say you're Greek the Freak and you won MVP last year, and you might win it this year. Did you dominate though? Your team did, but did you? Because if you're dominating, what keeps you? If you're the number one, what keeps you really going forward? So you have to pull the Kobe. You take that mythical guy who's at the top, and you're chasing him. So you're not worrying about the people that you're playing against because they're not the person you're chasing. They're not the one that's building you up. Because if you're going off of somebody that's in your time frame, you're never gonna get the boost. So you're like, all right, I wanna dominate every year. I'm gonna chase Wilt Chamberlain the way he did it. I'm gonna chase the way Kareem did. I'm chasing Kareem stats. So now year by year, you're following this. You could be 6-time MVP, but you're so focused on this guy that you're not even living in the real time. And that's the way you do it. Because if you're going off of, like, let's say James Harden, technically he's been dominant for the last 4 or 5 years, but it doesn't look like it. Because he's chasing real time instead of chasing someone who doesn't exist anymore.
All right, Kijani, we warmed this up a little bit. You put some thoughts out there. You asked a few questions we caught, but it's officially time for Ask Agent Zero. What do you have prepared? Okay.
My phone. Yeah, I got.
Gil,
I got 'em,
man, you should be sweating now.
I got 'em,
When the homework
Put
happens.
some thought into this one.
Yep. So your answer has to.
So, so I know you know the famous, free throw, LeBron, So what did he say to you? And then how did you how were you able to maintain your focus when you missed him? We were respectful there, but missed him, but how did you lose sight for what you were trying to do? Make the free throw and then.
Okay, so we have to back up a little bit.
All right.
Because I was balling. I was balling that fourth quarter, and miracle comeback. Down 3. I hit almost like a 30-footer to take us to overtime. Kind of got a little tired in overtime, but got to the free throw line. It's butter. Game's over. We're up 1. I'm about to hit these 3. This is easy. And when he tapped me and he's like, if you miss these, that's game. And for that 1 second, I became human and thought about it. If I miss these, he's gonna win. How? We're up 1. And it had me thinking about it. And I can even see it on my face when I watch, oh yeah, you're missing these, bro. And then I missed the first one, and I'm sitting there how the hell did I miss that? That's just so off. Missed the second one, and I'm sitting here yo, did this just really happen? Where did I go? I don't miss clutch free throws, period. And missed them both. And then Damon Jones in the corner just came in the game for the first time in 2 games and hit the shot. And all I thought about was it Nick Anderson? All I thought, because I was a Magic fan, and I remember what happened. His career just. So I sat in the gym, took 2,000-3,000 free throws, and then I even took it a step further and went with a guy named Frank in San Francisco, who trains
Chameleon.
Huh?
Chameleon BX.
Yeah, and he trains military, black ops, special, all mental stuff. And I went to him just extra, just make sure my mental is focused. And then he just put me through all this mental, just breakdowns, just things that just mentally challenged you.
These aren't basketball, but do you think it's like healthy for players, or it's a good thing that they grow up with a friend group and go into the NBA with that tight circle and maintain that tight circle?
Yeah, your circle of basketball players is going to be your life friends. It's. I know sometimes it's hard to say that, because you have examples of LeBron's friends, his high school friends is not the guys he hangs around with now. The guys he hangs around with now, they came, to help his business and do all that. But the guys you play with, you practice with, you battle with, you fight with, those are the guys that are forever. They're your brothers, and you don't realize it until one of them gets traded and then you really get hurt. You're like, wait, what? Like you can see DeMar Johnson and Lowry to this day. It's still like they still can't believe. It's been what, 2 years now? DeRozan. They still can't believe that you're not here. It's you train and you enjoy each other so much that when one of you guys leave, it really hurts. So that is going to be your bond. That is going to be, I'm surprised, to be honest, that Carmelo, CP3, and LeBron have not played together, because that's the summer group right there. You add D Wade, it's those four amigos right there, and it's weird because as people who know how tight that group is, you would expect that they were all team up at one point, to give the other two championships. So yeah.
So that could be you and Dylan for years to come.
Could be.
Yeah, there's going to be, let's be honest, there's going to be situations where, one of you guys have power and you use it. Hey, if you want me back, you're going to have to bring my guy. And they're going to do it. They're going to do it. And you can see how LeBron, that's what I said, you can see most of LeBron's teams, his friends, that's but that's what, you have to appreciate about someone that's in that position where he take care of his friends.
My last question, was there a player or someone that you wish you could have played with or against in the NBA?
Played with? Probably Kobe.
Yeah.
Probably Kobe. I just, that battle every day in practice. Just to be, watching him from afar and only on game day where I get to see him, but watching him every day in practice to really understand, how that greatness was built. It's easy to see it from, fans' standpoint, but to be there watching every single day, what is he doing? I wish I got to play with him just so I can, see what the greats are doing, because for the most part it's all secret. It's like, y'all don't want us to be great. Tell us what you did. Tell us.
Did you ever play with him? I know, like All-Stars. You ever play with him in a scrimmage, summer run?
If you're a boxer.
No, but were you ever on the same team, like even in a scrimmage now?
I said, like, if you're a boxer, Mayweather's undefeated. You will want to watch, like, what do you do all day? Let me see. When you wake up, what do you do? Noon, what do you do? Like, I want to be able to see it instead of going on Instagram and you sitting there in the limo talking about fur. Like, I don't want to see that. What did you do to be 50-0? What's the secret? It's not an accident. What are you doing? Do you wake up and do 5? Like, what? Like, and that's what I would have liked to witness. Like, what are you doing?
I said you play with or against. What about against?
Against? I played Jordan, gave him 41. Gave Kobe that work.
So I guess it would be a guy that's playing now.
Oh yeah, probably Westbrook or Kyrie or Curry. Yeah, I'd like to bust him up. I don't like the busting my for real.
I'd like to see you versus Dame. Like in both in your times. All right, so we're about out of time here. But before we go, I had this thought. Maybe you're already there. We need a nickname for you. I'm gonna put this on you, Gil.
Whoa.
Yeah?
Oh, no.
You wanna walk away with a souvenir. I don't know if you have anything in the works already. It's still early.
People call me Keej, short for my name, Kijani. I know my coaches call me Key, K. Dot.
We could do better.
Well,
we could do better than all
That's
that.
Kendrick Lamar already. You can't get the K dot already. You know what? You don't have to worry about it right now.
We'll figure that out later.
You figure that out. You figure it out in college. You get in college.
I'm trying to get some help out of you.
Like I didn't get mine until like.
He made his own, really.
Who?
You made a lot for yourself.
I didn't make Agent Zero. Someone
Hibachi.
offended. I didn't make hibachi either. I didn't make Zero to Hero.
The point is,
you don't make your own. You don't want to.
You kind of did.
Make your
the
own.
The thing for in your situation, a lot of times for Gil, he heard them and he owned it.
Yeah, you don't.
Hear things
Yeah, you gotta. You don't want to do the whole. What is it? CP3.
Yeah.
You know, it's Chris Paul number 3. You don't want. You don't. Because what if he wears number 4?
It's confusing. Yeah.
What if you done messed up the whole nickname? So you have to sit back, let the nickname come to you, and you're like, I like that one.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you do it. You don't want to be playoff P, you know. Because what if you never make it to the playoff anymore?
Right.
You know, it's just.
And a lot of times you're given a nickname, you're blessed with it, and then you own it. We got to think of one.
Well, Scalabrini is the white mamba, right? You know, I'm pretty sure he didn't think of that himself. You know, a guy who only averages 2, someone you're not mamba-like, but you know, it's trust me, a fan out there would give you the nickname, and boom, that's.
Actually, I think Scout was after one game. He had like one game that he went off for 20, and he was like, "Tonight I was the white mamba."
He didn't give himself white mamba.
I think to narrow it down, I like the key thing.
It's a Master P, Master Key.
Master Key,
Unlocking the door. Unlocking the doors, locking them down, open the doors. You know, you can work that.
It's a start.
You're young, so you get to really go out and think.
Yeah.
Don't take nicknames from him. Trust me.
I don't have them, so actually I do, but not cool like that either. But you have a lot. Agent Zero. We'll go with that one. So, Kijani, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Glad you made it work for us.
All right, thank you,
You're a
sir.
guy that's always in the gym.
Always in the
We
gym.
love those. And for
This is like our the 5th time's a charm.
And for another guy that's always in the gym, came from the gym this morning. So, gym rats all around. And also made of a lot of nicknames. Hibachi, Agent Zero, we threw them out. So I'm Mike Botticello for the one and only Gilbert Arenas. And for Kijani Wright, this has been No Chill with Gilbert Arenas. Remember, you can catch us every Monday at 8 p.m. on Fubo Sports Network, and we'll see you next time.